Good afternoon. We're in Job 29 today. My subtitle says Job's Summary Defense. And as I look at this chapter, I am seeing Job mourn. The difference between how it used to be and how it is now. And that's an important part of our process. It's also important to note not to stay there forever or wish that you weren't in your current existence, because that causes a different set of problems. But let's see how Job goes through this and see if there's anything we can glean. Oh, that I were as in months past, as in the days when God watched over me, when his lamp shone upon my head, and when by his light I walked through darkness. Just as I was in the days of my prime, when the friendly counsel of God was over my tent, when the Almighty was yet with me. Job's grieving the felt friendship of God. And when we go through dark nights, the absence of that causes us to mourn. When my children were around me, when my steps were bathed with cream, and the rocks poured out rivers of oil for me. When his kids were alive, and when the earth yielded to him. He has a legitimate reason to mourn the loss. When I went out to the gate by the city, when I took my seat in the open square, the young men saw me and hid. The aged arose and stood. The princes refrained from talking and put their hand on their mouth. The voice of nobles was hushed, and their tongue stuck to the roof of their mouth. He's mourning the loss of the favor that he had with man and the reputation that he had built by righteous activities. When the ear heard, then it blessed me, and when the eye saw, then it approved me. Because I delivered the poor who cried out, the fatherless and the one who had no helper. The blessing of a perishing man came upon me, and I caused the widow's heart to sing for joy. He's missing the role of servanthood that he used to occupy so well. Everything has been stripped. I put on righteousness and it clothed me. My justice was like a robe and a turban. I was eyes to the blind and I was feet to the lame, and I was a father to the poor. And I searched out the case that I did not know, and I broke the fangs of the wicked and plucked the victim from his teeth. He's missing how he used to operate and the ability to liberate others. Even that is gone. Then I said, I shall die in my nest and multiply my days as the sand. My root is spread out to the waters, and the dew lies all night on my branch. My glory is fresh within me, and my bow is renewed in my hand. He had a picture of his future when all of this started. He sort of had an idea of how it was going to go for him for the rest of his life. And that too is gone. His hope of being refreshed is being rearranged. Men listened to me and waited and kept silence for my counsel. He had acceptance and respect in his community. And he doesn't have that anymore. After my words, they did not speak again, and my speech settled on them as dew. They waited for me as for the rain, and they opened their mouths wide for the spring rain. He walked in a gifting that was recognized, that was satisfying for him. And he doesn't have that anymore. If I mocked at them, they did not believe it, and the light of my countenance they did not cast down. I chose the way for them and sat as chief. So I dwelt as a king in the army, as one who comforts mourners. Sometimes we have lots of different angles to look through to know what we've lost, what we need to cry about, what we need to get healed from, trauma that we carry, that we want to ask the Lord to take. I bless you today as you ponder your path and go beyond the obvious of what was lost. How did it affect all your future relationships? How did it affect how you feel about yourself? How did it affect your faith in God? And you have permission to grieve. It's interesting that for each of us there is a different proper amount to stay in this space. And it's not a place of self-pity. It's a place of recognition. And if you start feeling sorry for yourself, then you need to move on to the next part of your path. But it's honoring to your journey to legitimize what your path has cost you. And to sit with that, not alone, Perhaps Job and the cloud of witnesses will be listening on, but definitely Jesus will be with you in it. And he knows what it cost. And he knows how to mourn. And even while that's a place that we tend to withdraw from because we don't like those feelings, if the feelings are there and you're just holding them in, it's not good for you. So I bless you with permission today, because Job had it in his journey as a primer for some of ours. I bless you in Jesus' name.